Hello, Evelyn McKnight, One Arm University. Thank you for joining today. Today, we're going to talk about posture, maintaining good posture, and eliminating the pain that can happen with amputees because our posture is out of alignment because we're missing some weight on one side of our body. So having that equal weight on both sides of your body helps you to maintain upright posture. But when we're missing, like in my case, almost 30 pounds on one side of my body, unconsciously the body tries to make up for that misalignment. And so if I'm not thinking about it, it's this kind of thing. You know, I'm leaning towards the right side, you know, because my body is trying to compensate and trying to equalize that weight. So I find, especially when I'm walking or standing at the kitchen and cutting up things, that I can really develop some pain. And that pain is at the top part of my neck, or at the bottom part of my neck, the top part of my spine, up here, and then right around here. So you can understand, you know, why those are like two pivot points where my body is called upon to be in an unnatural position because of that misbalance of weight. So I've been fortunate to find an Egoscue therapist who has been helping me with posture and with developing exercises that helps me maintain good posture and helps me to have my own body tell me this is where I'm out of alignment and this is how I need to get back into alignment. So I'm going to introduce Liz, my Egoscue therapist, and she's going to tell you about the principles and the philosophy behind Egoscue so that you have an understanding of why this is such a helpful thing for me.
The Egoscue method is a posture alignment therapy approach to help address chronic pain, imbalances, or any limitations within the body. What we do that is unique is we don't just focus on the area of pain. We expand to look at the entire body to see what is contributing to the pain, what's the root cause, what muscles have either became weak or there's muscles that are overworking, and we're looking to see how can we balance those out, because at the end of the day is improving balance, symmetrical from left to right or front to back is what's going to help eliminate those symptoms. The Egoscue method was started over 50 years ago by Pete Egoscue while he was a Marine. He was wounded in Vietnam, and after going through traditional therapy process and still being in pain, he decided to take matters into his own hands, and that's where the method was born. He was able to get himself out of pain, and before you knew it, his buddies started asking, well, what about my knee? What about my shoulder? He went back to the anatomy book that he originally picked up and was able to figure it out from there, and that's how the method started over 50 years ago. I'm holding here a copy of the latest book. It's a revised version of his #1 selling book that came out over 20 years ago. We have multiple Egoscue clinics throughout the United States, and we actually have also 2 clinics in Japan and 2 in Mexico. We are in a clinic today, which is why you hear some background noise and you might see some of our clients or therapists passing by behind us. We're going to demonstrate a few of the exercises that Evelyn and I have been working on to help her with her postural imbalances. Okay, we're going to go over an exercise called standing at wall. It seems to be a very simple exercise, but there's a lot of things we're paying attention to. So we're going to start from the bottom. We're paying attention to our feet. This exercise can be done with feet pointing straight ahead or pigeon-toed. For this instance, we're doing pigeon-toed. And then we're going to work on we're working the body from the bottom up. So first we're going to solicit some feedback, and we're going to see, what are you feeling, Evelyn, on your feet? Does your weight feel evenly distributed, or do you feel like it's off balance?
It's even.
Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go work our way up into the lower body, into the hips and the lower back area. And so the next point of contact here is going to be the glutes. Does it feel like the glutes are even against the wall, or do you feel like there may be a little disparity there?
It's the same.
Perfect. Okay. Now working our way back up to the top, we're going to go to the shoulder area, and we're going to focus in this instance on the left shoulder. So we want to go ahead and make sure that that left shoulder has some good contact with the wall, in that it feels like it's not being hiked up or rolled forward. So we're going to have her pull it down just a little bit and then relax the hand there. And what are you noticing there?
You know, I don't have a right shoulder blade, so I do notice that missing space, that air. But the left one does feel like it is appropriately against the wall.
Perfect. Okay, and the last thing we're going to pay attention to is the head position. So we want to have Evelyn fixate on something where she can look straight ahead. What we want to avoid is the head tilting back to touch the wall, or too far forward where the chin's too tucked under. So sometimes this might mean that the head's no longer able to have contact with the wall, which is okay. What are you noticing, Evelyn?
I feel like my head is balanced on my body.
Perfect. So the 3 symptoms that Evelyn previously mentioned are all symptoms that we're working on with this exercise, and it's just helping her balance and helping her stand upright and taller. So there's no compensations happening in those areas of pain, and we're using the wall to provide that feedback for her so that she's able to execute this on her own. Okay, now we're going to work on an exercise called air bench, and this one is particularly focusing on that lower back area. So we're going to ask Evelyn some feedback from her body. So what are you noticing, again, on the weight distribution? Does that feel like it's even, or does it feel like it's maybe a little off?
I have to think about really using my right leg to push into the floor a little bit more than I have to my left, to keep balance between the 2 legs.
Okay, and now we're going to skip up to the upper body, and we're going to go to that shoulder, and we're going to see if that feels evenly distributed, or if it feels like we need to adjust it a little bit.
I find that breathing in deeply kind of helps me think about that I have it, that I'm balanced.
Okay.
So right now I do feel balanced.
Okay. And then just as a reminder, in this instance, we're focusing on that left shoulder, making sure that that left shoulder is back against the wall. So now that we've addressed those 2 points, we're going to go back to the lower back. And in this instance, we want the lower back to be flat against the wall. Perfect. So by being in this position, the next thing we're going to go back to the bottom one more time, and we're going to ask that we have most of the weight on the heels. You don't have to pick your toes up, but we're going to keep most of the weight on the heels. And then, Evelyn, where are you feeling the work from this exercise?
Right above my knees.
Okay, perfect. We definitely want it in the quad area. As long as that lower back is flat against the wall, then the work will be in the quads. And the work in the quads is so demanding that it's going to help relieve some of the overwork that's happening in that lower back. Next, we're going to work on an exercise called chest openers. Evelyn's already in position, so she's got her hand flat against the wall. Her arm is fully extended. And we're going to work a rotational movement of the arm and making sure that the elbow stays locked in place. And she is going to be working both sides with this one. This exercise is for her upper back, and as you can see in the video, there is definitely some movement happening on that right side as well, which we really like. The key things to pay attention to in this exercise is making sure that that elbow does not bend.
So this concludes our session for today, and I want to thank Liz for all of her help. It's really wonderful to be able to live this life with less pain and to be aware of what sorts of exercises, what sorts of things I need to do to prevent pain rather than always trying to get rid of the pain. So thanks. Join us again, One Arm University.
It's always a pleasure having Evelyn come in town. You can find us here at Egoscue, Phoenix.